Hello guys, in this video I will show you how you can extract data from the HTML page uh, using Python and Pandas library. So Pandas library, if you're not familiar with, it's very powerful and it made uh, you can do so many things with it in just a few lines of code. So in so for this video I'll show you how you can extract these data, like in this HTML page we can see that data is there, and I'm interested in this station information data, and this data is in a tabular format, like it's in a table. But how can we extract that without just copying it one by one? So if you want to see this HTML page, so we can look at the page source, and here you can see that there is one table, and that table contains these map, response, and home page, which is right here. And the second table is this one, but it's not properly formatted. So we have like the first line, which is just some text, and from the second line we started, and then we have data, and then though we end up with this some footer information at the end, which is also part of the same table, as you can see over here. If you do the inspect element, and in fact you can look at all of it. So the last one is you see this one, this meter below surface, right? And this is also part of the same table, so it's before the end tag of the table. So we want to extract these information, but I mean this station information, but we have to somehow format our code that it can avoid these problems. So let's see how we can do it. So I'll go back to my Visual Studio Code, and I'll write start one file, and let's call it extract data .py, and we have this. And the first thing we want to do is import pandas as pd. And if you haven't installed pandas, you can install pandas using pip, or if you are using Anaconda, you can do conda install pandas. Both are equally fine. And then we want to specify the URL for this page, and we can copy the URL from here and just paste it over here. So we have the URL, and now we want to extract the HTML from the URL. And pandas have the method which is like read HTML, and we can just specify URL for it. And HTML, let's just call it HTML page, and let's print this out, save it. I will start the inbuilt terminal. I'll change it to the environment which has the pandas installed, and then I'll start the inbuilt terminal. You can run it from the external terminal as well, it's equally fine. And let's simply execute this Python script, and we see that this is very unformatted, right? And but there is some data which we want to extract, but we also want to format the data. How can we do that? we can also check like how many tables are there in this HTML page. So let's call it total number of tables is length of the HTML page, and if we print this out, we run this code. Let's not print this, but we have the total number of tables to be 3, and like we have seen the source of the HTML page, and we are interested in the second table, so let's only print the second table. So HTML page and the second table, because indexing in Python starts with 0, so second is 1, so we print that one. And we have the second table which has our data, but still it's not formatted, as we have seen that the first line is the information which we want to remove. So how can we do that? So let's first extract these column information from the HTML page, and how we can do that. So because pandas save everything in a data frame format, so we can just extract the way we extract the data frame. So let's call our data frame as this table, and let's see what is the first row of this data frame, like the first index and all columns, and let's see what is that. And you see these are all the information which we're getting, but we are not interested in that. We want the header information. So header information is not the first index, which is the second index. So if we print this out, we have all the header information. So great. So we can call it, say this is our columns, and so if we print our columns now, so we have our columns. Great. So now we are ready to build our the data frame, and the data frame we are interested in. So let's create a dict list. Right now it's empty, and loop through each rows of this the second table. So for say index in range, and we want to avoid the first 2 rows, so we start with the third row, and we want to loop up to the last third last row, because we want to avoid the last 2 rows, right? So we remove them, and we can look at those rows. So for checking those rows is simply do the same which we did here. So we can change this to df, and let's see what we have here, and change it to idx, which is our index, and let's run this again, and we see that we have our data, but since we are also getting the last the current instrumentation row, so we can avoid that. We can just skip that row. Let's run it again, and great. So we got data up to this last row. Now we want to save it into a data frame, so we can do this, create a dictionary, and let's add the values in the dictionary. So for call and columns, dict.update, and we add different so we add the dictionaries for each columns. So we have already defined our columns, so we just save the data, and let's call it icall to get the index of each columns, and we just want to get these values. So we want to get the value of the IDX, and we want to get the value of icall. Yeah, that's it. And so we have the dictionary ready. So all we have to do right now is just append the dictionary to our master list. So we have our master list, and we append that dictionary to it. And finally we can create a new data frame, and from this list, and let's print the head of this data. Awesome. So see, we have obtained the station list from this HTML page. So it's as simple as that. We can do the same for this other tables if you want. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and like this video.